Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Um, I got ahead of the new series that I've been watching to review. So, I literally only have like 5 episodes left. So I thought, why not put out, you know, another Mecha anime movie review in the meantime before I put out my review on Saturday, right? So, today I'm reviewing the first Mobile Suit Gundam new translation movie. The first movie is movie one, Heirs to the Stars. Um, you have Shuichi Ikeda as Char Asimov, Nobio Tobita as Camille Biden, Toru Furuya as Amuro Ray, who's not in the movie that much. You got Hirotaka Suzuoki as Bright Noah, sorry, I gotta mute the fucking TV. Toshio Furukawa as Kai Shiden, Rimuku Yukai as Frau Kobayashi. Yeah, she married Hayato, if you didn't know. You got Kazuhiko Ino as Jared Misa, Maya Okamoto as Emma Sheen, Nobuyuki Hayama as Hayato Kobayashi, Daisuke Gowri as Basque Om, Keaton Yamaka as Jamaica Danningham, and you got Ben Shimada as Patimus Shirako. That's pretty much all the important characters. So, if people don't know what Mobile Suit Gundam, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, a new translation is, it's a trilogy of compilation movies directed by Yoshiyuki Tamino that came out in 2005, which features new animation in certain scenes throughout the movies, which are super short, and it's very awkward because you'll have like these new. It'll be like 80s animation, and then once in a while you'll get like more modern 2005 animation, which looks great. Why couldn't they, instead of getting the money to hire Gacket, or not Gacket, Gact, who's a Japanese J-pop, J-rock star who's acted in movies, by the way. He was in a movie with what's his name from Halloween, H2O, whatever, I forget his name. But like they were in a movie together called Bunraku, which had like Ron Perlman, Demi Moore, and that guy from Dog Soldiers in Rome, Kevin McKidd. Yeah, that was his name. Josh Hartnett, that was the guy. Yeah, so yeah, instead of getting gacked, which I'm sure was very expensive, could they not have just used that budget to just reanimate the whole series in with 2005 animation? It would have been a lot better, but they had to cut costs, I guess. It's fine. Um, so the story for this, if people don't know, it takes place 7 years. Wait, was it 7 or 8 years? I think it's 8 years. Yeah. So basically, 7 years after the 1 Year War. It's now 0087 Universal Century, and there's a new elite army faction of the Federation called the Titans, which they don't tell you this in the series, but they're basically what happened is Zeon remnants were recruited by the Earth Federation to make mobile suits, which is why a lot of the Titans mobile suits look like Zaku's and shit like that, something the Zeon would have, because you had a bunch of their scientists get recruited by the Earth Federation, which is obviously a reference to what happened after World War II when the Americans recruited like 80 something Nazi scientists from the German side. It's called Operation Paperclip. Look it up. They even made an X-Files episode about that. And there's then a shitload of movies about it. Yeah, so that's something that happened, but it's like it's not. They never say it. It's implied, but there is like, I think there's like a movie. It's the thing where like Stardust Memory was the precursor to this to Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, but they never explained the Titans connection. You just see a couple of bad guys from this series in like Earth Federation uniforms at the end of that movie, which apparently they made a sequel OVA to Stardust Memory where they do explain the Titan connection between Zeon and Titan, which they never explain here, and I haven't seen that OVA. But yeah, basically the Titans are this evil organization that's part of the Earth Federation. They're doing experiments. They're doing experiments. They're running mobile suit tests on a neutral colony called Green Noah, where they're test flighting the new Gundam, which is the Gundam Mark II, right? Where we get introduced to our new main character, Camille Biden, whose parents are working for the Titans and are the designers of the Gundam Mark II. What happens is that there's an organization called AEUG, or however you pronounce it. One of its leaders is Shar Aznable, who's going by Quattro Bagina. Quattro means four in Italian, so it's like it's funny because like it implies that's his like fourth alias that he's gone by, so that's why it's called his name is Quattro, right? So him and a couple of other AUG pilots infiltrate Green Noah to capture the Gundam Mark II, which they get help from Camille Biden, who after getting arrested by the Titans and being mistreated by the Titans, he captures Gundam Mark II and hands it over to the Titans. What happens after that is the Titans use his parents as hostages, and his parents get killed, and that just ferments his that just ferments and concretes his like allegiance now to AUG, right? So after that, the AUG decides to take the fight straight to the Titans and attack the Jaburo base, which Jaburo used to be the headquarters of the Earth Federation. They are able to capture it, but what ends up happening is that they give the place up very easily because they set a trap where they set up a nuclear bomb, and a nuclear bomb. So our characters have to escape at the same time, rescuing Rekua Lon, who's another AUG pilot, and Kai Shiden, who's a collaborator working with AUG. After that, they meet up with Amuro, and that's where like there's this great scene where they're fighting in the sky. Our characters have to protect their flight carrier from the Titans, who send out transformable mobile suits, that's one of the new gimmicks for Zeta Gundam that they introduced, which is transformable mobile suits, which the Zeta Gundam, which is not in this movie, also transforms into like a mobile armor, right? Which is not in this movie. Camille only pilots the Gundam Mark II in this one, right? Which they explained that the Gundam Mark II is because it's a training unit, doesn't have the Gundanium armor. So despite the fact it doesn't have the Gundanium armor, it Camille is still able to kick everybody's ass in this movie because he's a new type, and they also introduced the new cockpits, which are like which have this like screen all around the cockpit that shows everything going on outside, which is really fucking cool. Cause like the character will be in his chair and like he can see his surroundings outside of the mobile suit because of all the cameras, which very cool new gimmick, very futuristic, right? Which is, I think they had that in didn't the Gundam Alex also have like a cockpit just like that? Which the Gundam Alex was also a prequel to Gundam Zeta, which like you can see a lot of similarities between the Gundam Alex and the Gundam Mark II. So a lot of my problems with this movie, besides from the fact that they change things here and there, is mostly to do with the DVD release by Right Stuff. They did not include an English dub, which I know for a fact that this movie originally had English dubs by Ocean Group, right? When it's in its initial DVD release, because I've seen clips of this movie with English dub, right? So you got no English dub. The credits and introduction aren't translated. They put their own credits at the end of the movie in English, which that was kind of annoying. Besides from that, other than that, this is a great movie. And sorry for the spoilers, but yeah, if you're a fan of Mobile Suit Gundam, or if you're a fan of real robot mecha animes, which real robot basically means war drama, then you're definitely gonna love this series. You got a lot of great and diverse mecha designs. The villains are really fucking hateable in this series, which I got. Like, I told the guy that I saw somebody's review of Zeta Gundam, and I mentioned how much I fucking hated Jared Misa, who's like one of the enemy pilots who's working with the Titans. And like the guy thought that meant I hated this series because I hated Jared Misa, which is retarded, because that's the fucking bad guy. You're supposed to hate the bad guys. And the reason I hate Jared Misa, he treats himself like elite when he's a shitty pilot, and he has this habit of having girlfriends be his co-pilots, right? He'll start to date his female co-pilots, and then like they'll heroically sacrifice themselves to save Jared Misa, who's a fucking asshole, who killed like Camille Biden's mother. Well, one thing I gotta mention is Camille Biden is autistic, and there's this very autistic scene where like Rakoa, who's the female pilot for AUG, who Camille has a crush on, she's off to go. She goes off on a mission, right? She's about to board a shuttle to fly off, and like he goes off to say goodbye to her, but like all he can say is that he just stare while she's sitting in the cockpit of this like shuttle. He just stares at her crotch and just fucking mumbles like her name over and over again, which is a very awkward autistic scene that happened in the show. Here they replaced it with a normal conversation, which is like, what the fuck? That was one of the funniest fucking scenes from the fucking series that showed how autistic Camille Biden was. Which, if you're wondering if it's Biden spelled the same way as President Biden, no, it has an A instead of E, which Biden has an E. Last time I checked. in his name. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. I'm giving this a 7. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Highly, I highly recommend it. And when you buy this, like, it's all like all 3 movies are all on the same like DVD set, so you don't have to worry when you look this up if you have to buy them individually. They come all together. All right, guys. That's all I have to say. My next Mecha anime series review I'm gonna post on Saturday is Rasifon, which is a '90s Evangelion ripoff show. All right, guys. Peace.